Well, wasn't sure if I was going to do this or not. For two reasons. One, it's Christmas Eve. And two, it was also my birthday. So yes, folks, today is my birthday. I was born on Christmas Eve, so not much of a big deal, but if you want to leave me happy birthday comments, be my guest. But that does not stop me to try to do what I can find to give you guys some great content wrestling review for all of you. So today is going to be a bit shorter with two reviews. One is going to be the latest ChocoPro event that took place on Christmas Eve, 278 with three matches, tag team action and a singles two tag team matches and a singles match, and of course we got the final week of the Detonation tour by New Japan Strong, where the Strong Openweight Championship is on the line between JR Kratos and Fred Rosser. But also we got the Unagi Sayaka Watch. We have two matches that took place recently. So as you know, we already had the 23rd event that took place with Sendai Girls. And of course, right now as we speak, we had the Marvelous show where she went back to her old gear. So that's going to be interesting. So let's get ready for another episode of the Leader Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Lead It Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with ChocoPro 278. Our opening match, we have Sayaka Obihiro teaming up once again with Arnarco Montaña, taking on Antonio Honda and uh, Tokiko Kihara. Now, this was a very interesting matchup because we have seen so far during this time with Antonio Honda and Tokiko being a much stronger, stable tag team over time. Now, we know Sayaka has teamed up with this guy before. I just don't remember. I think it was like about a week ago, but they did pretty well, but they did not win. So, this was a very interesting development. There were some moments where, of course, we did see the comedic side with Antonio Honda playing his guitar. But once again, once he does his comedy, he tricks his opponent in order to find a way to win. And of course, Sayaka Obihiro suffered the loss after Antonio Honda applied a jumping off the window, and boom, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So Antonio Honda and Tokiko won the match. Now, this next match is a far more interesting one. We have once again Chiko Shikawa versus Sayaka. Now, these two ladies are part of the same generation of girls in Got to Move, trained by Emi Sakura. These two girls known each other since they first met. They have competed against each other. They have teamed up together on multiple occasions. I can count. But however, when it comes to singles competition, it's always been she who always wins this match. But I have said many times in the past about Sayaka how she has improved her wrestling craft ever since then. So I think that says a lot. But however, I think this is where she has to put to the test, knowing that she is facing someone she has faced in the past. And I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, but however, I felt like in this case, Sayaka was putting everything out and putting Chiko Shikawa at the waist. And I was like a bit of surprise that she was able to pull her off. She normally tries to withstand everything that Sayaka throws at her, but this time it didn't. Sayaka was able to overcome it and pulled a bridge suplex on her. 1, 2, 3, picking up her first one against her. Now, she has won on certain occasions on tag teams, but when it comes to Chiko Shikawa, that's a different story. So I have to say this is a good move for her, good moment to pick up a good win against her friend and teammate. And hopefully we see them again down the line as either tag team or facing off each other, maybe doing a rubber match. Who knows? But great work, Sayaka. Now our main event, we got Chon Shiru teaming up with Masahiro Takanashi taking on the Queen Bees. We're talking about the Big Apple, Mei Suruga, and of course, bow down to your Royal Highness Emi Sakura, who's come back and wearing the DPW Women's Championship. I thought this match was pretty interesting because, as you know, Masahiro plays it smooth. He's very clever in the ring. As for Chonchito, we know he always has something up his sleeve when it comes to try to outmaneuver anybody. But in this case, Mei Suga tries to outsmart anybody that gets in his way. But in this case, Emi Sakura, as you know, she has a very different dark side of her, as you always seen. But, however, because the ref did not see it, Emi Sakura whacked Masahiro Takanashi with the DPW Women's Championship on him, but also applied the Maestro, giving Emi Sakura and Mei Suruga the win. Now, I don't know what Masa would think of this, but the queen is back, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. That's how I see it. So, I think that's pretty much it for that match. Now, let's move on to the Junkin tournament. Now, initially, I thought Mei Suruga was getting back on track, but no, not this time. She got eliminated. So did Sayaka, Chiko Shikawa, Sayaka, and the person that made it all the three. When we thought that the match was falling into favor to Sayaka Obihiro, no, scratch that. It did not. And Tokiko Kirihara, out of the blue, Emi Sakura injected herself into the final match, and she won. So the Royal Highness actually won the Janken tournament. That's 2 for 2 for her. So she wins the chocolate and she wins the match. So right now, this will be the it for ChocoPro. There'll be more for 279, and I think that's pretty much it. So right now, let's move on to our final review, which is New Japan Strong with Week 4 and the final Detonation. Our final review is New Japan Strong with the final Detonation on this tour. As you know, we have Ian Riccaboni and, of course, Alex Kozlov giving the announcements, what matches we have, but they had the biggest surprise. Vincent Dorada and Mascara Dorada teaming up. As you know, these two teamed up before in WWE as Lucha House Party, but now it's great to see them. They're not doing that gimmick, but now they can be their own people. They're going to be in a match against C4, a stabilized tag team who I've seen on Prestige Wrestling and other locations. But we're going to see how they will be put to the test against a much stable tag team as well. And I thought the match with C4 with Cody Chun and Guillermo was good. I mean, they're two of the C4 is one of the most impressive competitors in the North Cal, in Oregon, just and also in the Northeast. I thought it was impressive. Now, a part of me thought this match was going to end in a draw, but no. It ended with Lince Dorada applying a shooting star press onto Cody. 1, 2, 3. They win the match. Now, our next match, this is a very technical match. We have Kevin Blackwood versus Bobby Fish. Now, the reason I say this is it's a technical match, we know Bobby Fish. He's a martial artist. He knows a bit of MMA and also has boxing skills. He faces someone who also has game in the technical world, and that is, of course, Kevin Blackwood. Now, you probably would have assumed this match would have fallen in favor for Bobby Fish because he's a far more better veteran than him, and I think that played out pretty well until Bobby Fish applied the the Falcon Arrow, a move that no one has ever kicked out before. 1, 2, 3, it was done. However, once the match was over, we see Homicide attacking Bobby Fish, who hasn't forgotten the last time. As you remember, Homicide was about to dismantle Danny Limelight until Bobby Fish shows up, who is doing a favor to fulfill Tom Lawler. But however, apparently Homicide has gained a new ally, and that ally is David Finlay. So this is a very interesting pairing. So we'll see where they're gonna go with that. But Bobby Fish took off. He does not want nothing to do with Finlay, but we'll see what happens in the future. Now, our main event is the Strong Openweight Championship. This match was set thanks to Jay White, who defeated Fred Rosser and decided to give the title opportunity to a member of Team Filthy, Kratos. We have seen Kratos and Fred Rosser fight each other in the past. Not to mention Fred Rosser been dealing with Team Filthy for a long time until Rosser dethroned Tom Lawler. But I thought this match was impressive. It showed great heart, great fighting spirit with Fred Rosser. Not to mention, Fred Rosser, we don't know if he made a mistake or was it showing honorable deeds when he was trying to stop the countdown to let JR Kratos come in. We don't know what was the deal. The commentators believe that was a mistake, but it did not. I have to say, it kind of showed a bit of a fighting spirit. He wants to beat Kratos the right way. And the way he did it, he applied a chokehold on him, and of course, he had no other choice but to tap. Now, during the entire time of Detonation, when Fred Rosser won, Peter Avalon comes out and declares himself as the next challenger. And once that was done, um, Peter Avalon attacks Fred Rosser, and then Blake Christian shows up to give him a helping hand. It became an all-out war outside. So we'll see what happens with Peter Avalon when he gets match against Fred Rosser. That has been announced, but we will get there, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I think that's pretty much it with New Japan Strong. I say let's move on with Unagi Sayaka Watch. Okay, for the Unagi Sayaka Watch. As you know, we have two big matches she had. One with Sendai Girls and the other with Marvelous. Now let's talk about the Sendai Girls one. Her match that she had was against Chihiro Hashimoto, the longest reigning champion in Sendai Girls. Now, Hashimoto was the one opponent that Unagi wanted ever since she stepped into the world of freelancing. She even mentioned on an interview with Eric Howard, a fellow podcaster here in my native town of San Diego. He asked her why did she did what she did, challenge Hashimoto, and her response, why not? So she knows Hashimoto is one of the best wrestlers in Japan, so it would make sense. So it's like, why the F not? But you can tell by this match, it could have been a much brutal match by Hashimoto to Nagi. Now, to be fair, I did not see the whole instant match, but I saw a bit of the clips. But however, the match ended with Hashimoto applying a ankle lock onto Nagi, I think, and of course, Hashimoto won. Now, I'm not sure what Hashimoto said to Unagi, but I'm sure she found respect for her, knowing that she stepped up to someone like her. Most people wouldn't, but she did. But however, that does not end there. Yurika Oka has been asking for a singles match with her when she first arrived. So Unagi decided, okay, you get your singles match. So that has been announced that she will have that match with Yurika Oka on the 15th of January in 2023. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Now, on a note here, it appears that, as you know, Unagi doesn't have too many wrestling friends that she has, other than the Cosmic Angels and Colors, and now, of course, AOI and uh, Momoka Hanazono. So, so it appears that now she made a new friend, and that friend is, of course, is Sayori Anoi. Um, I have to say that would be interesting. That there's a picture of them. I would put that photo up um, at the end, but also there's more. Um, on the Marvelous side, as you know, since there was a day early, if you guys remember clearly about earlier this month or so, Unagi ended up in a match against Chikayo Nagashima. Nagaya won, but however, Unagi put her merch money on the line, and Nagashima told her that if she wants her money back, she has to bring back her old character from the TJPW days, and that is, of course, Unagi Iramara. And that's an old gimmick. I will put that photo of her wearing that outfit at the end of this thing, and I thought it was interesting. However, their opponents, but however, Chikayo and Unagi teamed up. They faced against Maria and Rika Kawahara. Now, I know that Maria does have a bit of a grudge with Unagi's, not only because she invaded Marvelous, let's just say that they had dealt with each other before in New Blood and possibly events that involved with Stardom at the time. But it's interesting that that happened. But Unagi did play back her old ways as the old character she did, from my understanding. But however, the match ended in a time limit draw, and Chikayo actually gave her money back in a shoebox. So it's kind of nice of her. I think maybe she really warmed up with Unagi. I mean, Chikayo Nagashima is not a very easy person to open up to, but maybe there's something there. Keep in mind, Unagi doesn't have a lot of friends in the freelancing world, but she is making friends as she goes. So we'll see what happens then. But like I said, I will post photos of her, of Unagi with Sario Noi and her old character. So I think that's pretty much it right now. So I say, let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Me doing these two event, ChocoPro and um, New Japan Strong, and of course throwing some updates with Unagi Sayaka. I know some of you, if you guys are fans of Unagi, are having a hard time keeping up what's been going on with her since she left Stardom. Don't worry, I got you guys covered. Don't, I'm a fan of Unagi, so I will do those until who knows. But that doesn't end there. As you know, for our next episode, we will be um, doing more Choco Pro, and possibly I just saw on the Watch Pro Wrestling Live they added two events coming from DDT and Tokyo Pro Wrestling. I can't wait to review those for all of you. And if there's anything else, I will be putting some news updates if it's possible. So for right now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.